After the fierce battle with the hammer demon, Shen's story continued. When Shen woke up, he was already in his room. Beside him was Mingfan, who was crying happily to see that Shen was awake, while Luo just peeked out from behind the curtain to see how Shen was doing. After Mingfan left Shen, Luo came in and knelt down, saying he would follow Shen's orders and even try to learn how to make porridge for him for a few days. After Luo left, Shen asked the system if he should continue with the story and pushed Luo into the fiery abyss. But the system says that the scene must still run and can't be changed. Soon Yue came with a man named Mu Qingfang, who was the chief of Qianchao Mountain of the 12 Mountains in Changqiang. They entered Shen's room because Mu wanted to check on his condition. Mu said that the poison in Shen's body could not be cured and could even weaken his strength at some point. They all looked very concerned about Shen's condition, but Liu asked Shen if he was the fake Shen because his character had changed so much. When Mingfan was delivering drinks for Shen, he heard a conversation between Liu and Shen praising Luo's greatness. Hearing this, Mingfan was very angry and met Luo in the kitchen and told him to do all of his tasks. On the other hand, without Luo realizing it, Hualing had been watching him through her crystal ball all this time because she felt attracted to Luo. At night, Shen enters the dream world and protests against the system because, in the actual story, Mingfan is Shen's trusted disciple, but in reality, they are not very close. But the system said there was no mistake in the story and Shen should still finish the story. Then Luo came to him into the dream world. Luo asked Shen to go with him to find a way out, but instead, they arrived at a city with its inhabitants with no faces. Shen said that there was only one demon who could do all that, the dream demon. Then Luo told Shen that there was a man who had a face going toward the small street. Luo and Shen followed him, but the man was now being beaten by 3 other men who had faces as well. Luo wanted to help him, but Shen said no because Dream Demon was playing with his mind. Sure enough, the face of the person who was being beaten turned into Luo's. But Luo didn't want to listen to Shen's words. He still helped the person, so his body bounced. Then Shen explained that when someone attacks another person in the dream world, the attack will turn to hurting himself. Before long, they both changed places. Then Shen again warned Luo not to touch anything. Then they heard the sound of a woman coughing from the direction of the hut in front of them. When Luo entered, it turned out to be the coughing sound of Luo's adoptive mother who had died in the real world. Then Luo, who came from the dream world, came to help his adoptive mother. Because he could not contain his affection for his adoptive mother, he touched his mother's hand so that they both moved again. Shen and Luo saw that little Luo was beaten by the thugs while looking for porridge for his sick adoptive mother. When Luo wanted to help, Shen restrained him so that he would not be affected by the illusion. Then they moved again to the hut and saw that his adoptive mother had died because Luo was too late to bring her porridge in the dream world. Luo saw his adoptive mother holding a jade necklace. Seeing the whole incident, Luo was angry and gave off his strength to clash with the dream world and sent himself blown away. Not long after, Mingfan and other disciples took Luo's jade necklace. Luo felt so angry that he immediately attacked them until he was blown away. Shen kept warning Luo not to be influenced by the events in the dream world, but Luo insisted on attacking them until he was blown away many times. Finally, Shen jumped in front of Luo so that he was hit. It turned out that this method worked so that Luo woke up from his sleep. After coming to his senses, Luo cried beside Shen and regretted hitting him. Shen said he was stronger than Luo, so holding his blow was not a big deal. Soon Shen fainted, and they were again pulled into the dream world by the dream demon. Then came the black smoke that incited Luo to continue to hate Shen. But Luo defended Shen because lately, Shen was kind to him. The demon was angry because he couldn't stir up Luo. Then the demon tried to attack Shen, who was unconscious, and Luo protected him. Finally, the dream demon showed his true form and tried to enter Luo's body. Inside Luo's body, the dream demon saw a dark swamp and a large tree surrounded by flowers, indicating that Luo was still very innocent. Dream demon felt that there was something hidden in Luo's body and he tried to find it. Then the dream demon was attacked by a giant fireball figure until the dream demon was blown out of Luo's body. The dream demon said a demonic figure was sealed within Luo's body, but he didn't know what demon it was. Dream demon continued to tempt Luo to use demonic power, but he still refused. Luo instead asked Dream Demon to teach him how to ward off demonic powers. Dream Demon said he would teach him how to ward off demonic powers and how to use demonic powers. Dream Demon also said that the demonic power in his body is very powerful. Even he can rule over 3 worlds and become the leader of gods and demons. But Luo thought of Shen, who would forbid him from using demonic powers. Then Dream Demon teased him by saying he could use that power to protect Shen. According to Dream Demon, the demon seal in his body will weaken, so the demon will take over his body if Luo doesn't learn to control it. Dream Demon gave Luo time to think about it, and then he left them. Meanwhile, Shen was dreaming when he was being put into a jug. There was a red-headed Luo who was about to take revenge. Soon Shen woke up, and the system appeared to give him a bonus because he had made it through the dream world. Then Luo came to see the state of Shen, who was still scared from his dream earlier. while Shen directly held Luo's veins to check whether there was any dream demon influence or not, but he did not find any traces of the demon. As Luo was about to leave, he asked Shen if all demon clans were evil and should be exterminated. Shen replied that demons are both good and bad, just like humans. Shen told Luo to move to Ming Fan's room. Luo was very happy and hugged Shen. When Luo was going to sleep, Dream Demon again asked about Luo's decision. Then Luo accepted it on the condition that he would not consider Dream Demon his master because only Shen would be his master. On the other hand, Ming Fan envied Luo because they seemed to be getting closer, and Luo could attract the attention of other students to practice swordsmanship with him. One day Luo left Luo a Divine Fellowship meeting invitation to give to Shen. But after accepting the invitation, Shen looked gloomy because he had to push Luo into a fiery abyss after the meeting. Not long after, Luo came to Shen's room to talk after he had succeeded in carrying out his mission. The next day, Shen and the other disciples prepared to go to the gathering of the gods. Shen went by carriage with a woman named Qingqiu who was Liu's master. Meanwhile, Luo and Liu went on horseback while escorting Shen and Qingqiu. When they arrived at the meeting place, they were greeted by the court emperor named Luo Binghe. Meanwhile, in the courtyard of the palace, there is a woman named Xiao Gunju who is the emperor's daughter, and later, she will become one of Luo's wives as well. Xiao was seen explaining the floor plan and the competition rules that the palace would hold. A male disciple named Guni Xiao was a talented student and was well known among the participants. When the portal to the valley was opened, they all entered and were immediately attacked by the monsters in the valley. There Luo saves 2 female students, and Gungi is there to show off his ability to attack monsters. Meanwhile, the masters were betting on who would win the match in the palace. It seems that Gungi became their favorite contestant because it was supported by the other masters there. But Shen was willing to bet on Luo for 5,000 strength stones, which surprised the people there because no one had ever bet that much. Shen said Luo would not lose, so his belief made Yue dare to take the bet that Shen put forward. In the valley, Luo is seen leading the students from other colleges to protect them and find a safe place without thinking about his ranking in the race. But the disciples looked very spoiled and asked Luo to stop and rest for a while. Luo was forced to obey them. Meanwhile, in the palace, the teachers were watching the leaderboards, and Gungi had been leading the first rankings for a while. Shen watched Luo, who was with other students, through the monitoring mirror. Then he said that 2 women named Qing Wang Yue and Qing Wanrong would also be Luo's wives. Luo then became the attention of the masters in the palace because he was willing to help other students from different colleges with him. They noticed that Luo's rank only got 1 point because of his kindness, even though Shen had bet a lot on him. Yue told Shen not to care about the ranking, and the most important thing was Luo's kindness. The spoiled disciples found a lake in the valley and immediately rested there, even though Luo had said it was getting dark and it was not safe to be in the water. On the other hand, Ming Yan was fighting a giant monster. After fighting for a while, she managed to defeat the monster. In addition, Gungi also seems to have defeated many monsters there, so his points are increasing. Elsewhere, Ming Yan saw a male student who fainted from exposure to a dangerous poison, so his breath became weak. Then Ming Yan let off fireworks as a sign to call for help. Meanwhile, Gungi is visited by a giant dragon monster that shouldn't be in the match. Ming Yan was shocked by the death of the lookout birds released by the race organizers. Then her group was attacked by poisonous needles that came from nowhere. Ming Yan blocked the needles so the other students could escape. Wang Yue, who saw the fireworks, admired them, while Luo, who knew it was a sign of danger, told the other disciples to hurry up to the mainland. Not long after, several giant water monsters came and devoured the disciples in the lake. Luo tried to attack the monsters, but Wanrong was not saved, and the monsters ate her. Luo then killed one of the monsters until finally, his group could escape from there. In the palace, there was a commotion because all the demons and vicious monsters were not supposed to be in the race. It turned out that the palace did not know why all that happened in their race arena. Then Luo Binghe ordered them to open the portal so the participants could escape, but Yue did not agree. Shen then explained that if the portal was opened, the monsters would come out of the portal and could harm the population. He also said that someone was sabotaging the competition. Shen suggested that only masters should enter the portal to save the disciples. Actually, Yue and the others forbade Shen to enter the portal because his body condition had not yet recovered. But Shen convinced them to let him go anyway because he wanted to save all his disciples. On the other hand, Ming Yan and her group were constantly attacked by poisonous needles coming from all directions, so several students with her died. Then Ming Yan planned to hide behind the dead monster's body. She asked 2 other students to throw fireworks as a diversion, then they ran to the hiding place. However, they were still bombarded by the poisonous needles. Luckily, Ming Yan was able to create a protective circle so that they could survive for a while. Meanwhile, Gungi was still being chased by the giant dragon monster. Even though he had used many spell papers, it did not affect the dragon. When Gungi managed to hide, suddenly there was a scream from another student, causing the dragon to change direction and look for the source of the sound. Knowing this, Gungyi immediately came out of his hiding place to block the dragon from going in the direction of the voice. He still tried to attack the dragon using his spell paper, but it still did not affect the dragon. Gungyi devised a plan to take the monster to a rock crevice so that he could lock it up there by making stone debris. But it only lasted for a while because the dragon could break free from the crush of the stone. When Gungyi was cornered and was about to be attacked by the dragon, a huge fireball flashed through the sky, causing the snake to follow the direction of the fire. Meanwhile, Ming Yan hid with the other students in the protective circle. Then they saw another group of students passing by. It turned out that the students were in the same school as Gungyi. When Ming Yan asked for help, they ignored her and just looked and continued on their way. Unbeknownst to them, the fireball headed toward the rows of disciples from the Gungyi college so that the giant dragon came toward them. Then came the sound of their screams that seemed to have been snuffed out by the dragon. Meanwhile, Luo's group was making a bonfire while resting. It turned out that Wang Yue was still crying over her sister's death, and Luo gave her his handkerchief. Suddenly, Luo felt something strange from the direction of the bushes near them. Shortly after, a headpiece appeared, which they thought was a corpse belonging to the participants. It turns out they were wrong. The head was the incarnation of a spider demon that attacked them, causing panic. Luo then tried to attack him alone using his sword. Just when one of the spider monsters was about to attack Wang Yue, Shen suddenly came and helped them all. Then Shen easily killed the spider demons so that they were saved. Unexpectedly, more spider demons came toward them. Shen and Luo also worked together to eradicate the demons, but the demons keep coming there until their number increases. Seeing that, they immediately made a protective circle using their swords. Suddenly the poison in Shen's body began to react again, so he could not use his abilities to the fullest. Luo then paved the way with the 18th sword move. They all left that place and took the injured Shen. This is the end of the second part of the anime.